Welcome back to Teletoons. Tonight we got something a little special for you. In a strange twist of events, we're going to have Rick from Engines of Aggression actually interviewing the band that he's opening up for tonight, Curve. It's Tony and Dean. Take it away, Rick.
Okay. Do I need your mic there? Okay. Yeah, I'm here with Curve. They have a really interesting sound. It reminds me of kind of like My Bloody Valentine, Ministry, Kate Bush, and a interesting hybrid. I wanted to ask you, I heard that you, Dave Stewart had something to do with the early part of your career or something. How did that come about? I'm a big fan of the Eurythmics.
No, we're big fans of Eurythmics as well. But,
early Eurythmics.
Yeah, early Eurythmics.
Yeah.
Everything before Revenge. No, Savage was good after.
Savage was alright.
But, I don't know. I mean, I met Dave when I was 15 years old in Sunderland, because that's where he comes from as well. So we met in Milburn's Cafe, and he persuaded me to leave home and go to London and seek my fortune. And that was about it. And then he was just a mate from there on.
Yeah.
And much later, he then met Dean, and Dean auditioned to be in his band at the time, which was Eurythmics. And got the job and went off on a couple of world tours with the guy. And
that's cool.
And he's just always been there in our lives. He's he's the longest relationship I've had with any man.
Yeah.
You know, like long term, like seen right from the beginning. I was 15, it was like 28, it's 13 years.
Wow.
You know, and
he's really inspiring though. He can be really brilliant. You know, you can speak to him about lots of things. If you're feeling really under about something, you can't work out why. He'll go through. You can talk to him, and he'll go through a series of things, you know, that might be troubling you, or say something really off the wall to make you laugh. You know, about what you're feeling. It's that kind of. He's a very clever man.
Yeah, he actually
he's
lives.
mainly a friend.
Yeah, he lives in California now, about 2 blocks from my parents' house.
So he's got a big house.
I see him getting the mail sometimes.
I didn't see him.
So you hooked up with Flood a couple of albums ago. He's, once again, an incredible producer engineer that I have a lot of respect for. How did that come about, and how has he added to your sound?
Well, I met Flood because he worked on my first solo album. So he and Alan Moulder. We met Alan Moulder before that because he worked on a project that Dean and I were doing together called State of Play, and he mixed that. And my relationship with Alan continued, and through Alan, his best friend is Flood. Right, and then I met Flood, and it was all very on a social level. You know, he was just a mate.
Yeah.
And we went out to dinner and went to clubs and got really wrecked together and all this stuff. And then when it came to do Curve Records, it was like, well, I think it'd be perfect. And I suggested it to Dean, and they met up and they got on really, really well, and established quite a good bond. You know, quite immediately, and that's obviously very important if you're going to make a record with someone. And that's how it was done. I mean, I met him through Alan, really.
He really enjoys it, though. You know, I mean, I think he dreads a lot of the stuff that he does, but he really enjoys working with us because it's very kind of, you know, we work from 12 till 8 or something, you know, and then he goes home, he can be at home, he can have a home life, you know, things like that. So it's a real kind of, it's an easy kind of, you know, thing for him.
Yeah.
And he really enjoys it, and the input, you know, is of such.
Well, your records sound really dense. They sound great. I like the production.
And he brings in, what he actually adds to the production is he brings in all these old, really fantastic old analog synthesizers that look like wardrobes, and they've got little pegs in them and stuff, and he just moves the pegs around, and he, it's funny, on this album I was quite surprised because we used 2 different producers, co-producers, Flood and Steve Osborne. You can't tell the difference between the tracks, who's done what. So I think that the overall thing that comes off our productions is that Dean and I are the producers, and then we bring Flood or some compatible person who we usually have had a long relationship with and we trust them immensely, will come in and just pull it over the finishing line.
Come in and tell the truth,
Yeah, but the majority of the production work is done before anyone comes.
It's just good to have that objective ear to come in and listen.
Yeah, somebody like that as well.
Yeah.
Somebody you can really respect, you know.
Sure. I want to talk to you about the new record. What is Super Blaster about? It's a really interesting title for a song, and I have my ideas what I think it's about, and I was wondering if you could tell me what.
I don't really know what it's about. I hate talking about what songs are about because it just takes away.
Leave it to the imagination.
Yeah, it takes away the listener's input. But I can tell you one thing about it. I did it off the top of my head at 10 o'clock in the morning. I just got out of bed and I just went straight downstairs in the basement. I hadn't brushed my teeth or washed my face, and I just went straight down there, and this thing came out my mouth.
How do you write the songs? Do you usually just do you play instruments, or do you sing them into a tape? Like our singer sings things into a tape recorder, and then he comes in with these ideas, and we
I sing
from
things
there.
into a tape recorder.
Yeah.
But it's not how we write the songs. The songs are written in like many you know, we haven't got a formula. There's no formula to the way that we write at all. So.
That Super Blaster was done took about 10 minutes. I was at home messing around the port studio, had this idea, played it to Tony. Tony went on holiday, and I decided to embellish it and just make sure that she liked it, because I knew that it was something good.
Sure.
And I just went to the studio and just put it down roughly how it was off the port studio, added a few more things, you know, and things. And so it was done very, very quickly.
Yeah, I
And
like
then
it
Alan
'cause
came back and
Alan
whacked on the
plucked a bit of
guitar,
guitar.
straight away, vocals straight away. It was really
It
simple.
was done. A
It's
lot
like
of-
very simple parts, but they work so well together. It's
Yeah.
very memorable. I find that a lot of the best writing is the stuff that just comes right away. I can sit in a room and write for hours and try to think of something, and it never
Exactly,
comes. And then you go, you know, have a few drinks, you come back, and just all of a sudden it hits you.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
nice.
You
It's
come,
fun.
you come at it from a different space, though, don't you?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you don't know where it is, but all of a sudden you do something
Yeah.
and you like it, and it, you know.
Yeah.
It's funny because the couple of nights I've had a real problem remembering the lyrics in Super Blaster. And they're so easy. They're the simplest lyric I've ever written. You know, and I get a real like block about it. I will reach out for what? All right.
You mentioned a second ago about how explaining the lyrics, you like the listener to do that. How do you feel about videos in that respect? Do you think it explains too much?
Not ours.
Yeah. Well, your
Those are
video is
completely
interesting. If you've seen the
obscure.
video, it's really, there's a white room with foam, and it's just, it's like almost a surreal candy shop or something. It's really strange.
It's just children going mad, and that's
Yeah.
all we are, really.
And across the board, you know, I mean, with the director and everybody, you know, the whole crew of the day.
Nuts.
And just nuts, yeah, just a bunch
Yeah.
of children with loads of foam bits everywhere. You know.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you don't think videos distract from the imagination?
But not when you see. Have you seen the Nirvana video? heart-shaped
Yeah, that's
box.
pretty incredible, I have
Well.
to say. Yeah.
It makes you jealous.
Yes, that's true.
You know, I mean, I defy one band to look at that
Mhm,
and
that's
not
true.
think, I wish that was me.
I guess the brunt of videos you see just tend to lock your...
And it's not literal, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's why I don't really like things that are literal. I don't like, when we do videos, I never say, well, the lyric says, I've dropped a cup, so I want to see a cup drop.
Yeah, I can't
You
imagine
know?
anything worse than that. you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I mean, there really are
Yeah.
just a handful of videos that you like.
Sure.
And the bulk of them, 90% of them more, are just, you know, utter crap.
They're just
I'd have to agree with you on
promotional
Nirvana.
too.
Another one I really like is the Bjork video. I don't know if it's the same director,
Yeah,
but that's
it's not the same.
incredible. Wow.
They've got the lollipops.
Okay, I was going to ask you about your voice. I mean, it kind of reminds me of a maybe lower, more sensual Kate Bush, and I was wondering if she was ever an influence on you.
Oh yeah, definitely. I love Kate Bush.
Yeah.
Absolutely adore the woman.
Yeah.
And
it's
always
been
have, right
incredible.
from the beginning. I always thought she was totally crazy.
Yeah.
And I like the way she worked, the fact that she just kept it all within her own family and all her own friends, and she had her own studio, and she produces her own records, and she just doesn't take any shit from anybody.
Yeah, and they
And
sound...
she just locks herself away, and that's good enough for her. And then she releases this record, and it's good enough for 1 million people as well.
Sure.
So,
A lot of it
I
sounds pretty
absolutely love
timeless,
it.
too.
Yeah,
You can't
I don't
really
think
block it
she
in.
makes records at age at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, that's hard to do. Your sound is interesting too. We share a common thing in our sound is we use drum machines as well and things. And I was wondering how that came about. Was that a conscious thing from the beginning to use drum machines and keyboards and things in the live sound, or you were just trying to recreate what you
It
did
was
in the studio?
necessity. It
Yeah.
was just necessity. It had to be done because we couldn't get it. We tried, to
Mhm.
keep it quite organic, I think, at the beginning, and it just wasn't working. There was just too
Sure.
many complicated things going on and just too many missing bits, and we didn't want to end up having like 5 backing vocalists, 2 keyboard players, and just have like a multitude of people on the stage.
Yeah.
And so we thought, we're going to get around this. Oh, we'll just get an echo and a sequence.
Yeah, it works. It really does. The way we went about it is we were more of a rock band. We said, how can we make this more interesting? So it was a conscious decision to augment the technology.
Yeah, but we
Um,
believe in that there's no future without technology anyway, and
Yeah.
people who ignore it are just losers
Sure.
in the end. Because, stadium rock, I suppose if, you're an American band, your pinnacle must be to become enormous so you can go into stadiums and do this thing. And, and you're going to have bands like Chasing Your Ass doing it with all this technology and real musicians. And you pit that against the band that aren't using it.
Yeah, I agree. I think audiences are ready for it, as long as you're not going overboard with like every vocal on tape or something.
Yeah, we
then-
don't do that.
Yeah, no, not at all.
It's completely not
Yeah.
like that, not identical. We don't really, not interested in repeating it exactly
Sure.
the same.
Sure. Okay, what else I was going to ask you here? Well, just some basic things. How's the tour? You've been to America a few times. You opened for, I think, Jesus and the Mary Chain when you were back
Yeah,
through
that
here
was
before.
good.
Yeah. And how do you like doing your own tour? Is it going for you? They've been, by the way, we're on tour with them, and they've been incredible, gracious hosts, so we're very thankful for that.
It's the only way you can be with anybody that's with you. There's a whole team that goes out, and you can only be supportive of what's going on. Otherwise, it's just really crap, you know.
You're looking forward to LA?
Yeah. LA will be good. I'm looking more forward to San Francisco.
Yeah, that should be
And I'm
fun.
really looking forward to New York.
Shopping, I was talking to her, gonna tell me where to get some good clothes.
Yeah.
Good clothes in New York.
Yeah, Christopher and Spring.
Well, I'm about out of questions, so I guess that's it for Teletunes, and we're here with Curve, and I guess we'll see you next time.